in 5, ding, 4, bing, 3, 2, and indeed 1. Hello, hello, hello. That's how one of my favourite cartoons started when I was a little boy. It was the Thunderbirds. 5, 4, ding. It's quite exciting. I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway. There we go. That's enough about me and the cartoons that I watched when I was a little kid. Hello to you. You are on Facebook. Hello to you. You guys are on Instagram. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us. It's wonderful to see you again. Last time was our first attempt at a live stream. This is our second attempt at a live stream. I think we're doing okay. Everything seems to be in the right place, hopefully at the right time. We advertised this as 1 o'clock GMT because we know that you can calculate wherever you are what time that would be for you on GMT. It caught me out when the clocks jumped forward.
Yeah.
It's the nightmare.
It was always like
Do you know how to remember that?
Tell me.
Spring forward.
Yeah.
So in the spring the clocks go forward,
right.
spring forward, and in the autumn fall back into bed. So
That's
fall
lovely.
back, because the Americans of course they call autumn the fall.
Yeah.
So you fall back. So
Ah.
spring forward, fall back, and that's how I remember.
Nice.
Because I always used to get that wrong, and I was going at the wrong
Yeah,
time.
and does it help you with the jet lag then?
No.
Yeah. See?
No, nothing you can do about that. So anyway, there we go. Right, let's dive straight into it. We are set up in our little audio studio that we have christened Studio Nettles, and we hope to get a nice background for you. We get a nice picture. But hey, I've got an idea.
Tell me.
You can send us your pictures. We would love to have that. If you send your pictures, perhaps pictures that your children draw, if it's your picture as well, that would be great. I'd love to see that too. And we can put a little display behind, and it'd be quite nice.
Yeah, you could decorate it here a
I
little
think
bit.
that would be lovely. That would be lovely.
Definitely.
So what you can do is you can send pictures. We would love to see some videos as well. If you've got videos of yourself teaching or your children playing in their bedroom or playing along in the living room whilst watching a Steve and Maggie sketch, we really, really would love to see that. And if it's a nice one, we'll try to post it up on our Facebook wall. So what you need to do is to go to Facebook at Wattsenglish, post it onto our wall, and then we will take that and promote it, and we'll put it on as I think we do that on Saturday. Is Martin nodding his head? Yes, Martin's nodding his head. It is Saturday where we will post up a video of the children playing.
Sure, and I would like to thank all of you who are sending these videos and comments and pictures to my website or my
Yes.
email, because it really helps us.
There's a bit of confusion because your name is Editor,
Yeah, it is.
but her job is not actually an editor, which is confusing.
A little bit.
Yes, so there you go. Editor here, she's responsible for our international sales and basically doing pretty much everything in the back office. It's almost everything.
Yeah.
But her email address, the spelling is slightly different. It's not editor as in the job. It's editor as in... How do you spell your name? Yes.
EDITA@wattsenglish.com.
Fantastic. There you go. If you want to send something specifically to me, you can send it to hello@wattsenglish.com. I think that's right, because Martin's nodding he's nodding his head again. I've got 2 nods in so many times.
See?
Excellent,
Like you.
excellent. So there we go. Right, let's see how many people have joined us, how many people we might have up on the live stream. I want to start off with a quick question for you here. Okay, can we see this? Shall I hold this up a little bit closer? Okay, I want to know what books you use in your English classroom. You'll need to tell me if I should hold this up a little bit or down a little bit. We'll see in a second. Okay, so what books do you use in your English classroom? Okay, if you can just pop that in a quick message for us, then we'll be able to see how many people we've got watching on the live stream. While we're doing that, I think what we need to do is just say that we're recording in April, and it's nearly Easter.
It is.
Because Easter is coming, we posted up on Wow English TV a clip. We've called it Surprise Eggs.
All right.
I hope you've seen it.
Of course.
Yes, excellent. Even if she hasn't seen it, that was very convincing. I believe her. I'm not sure about you, but I definitely believe it. Yeah, in that one, I'm reading a lovely poem about springtime. That can be used in the classroom for older children, or indeed, of course, native English-speaking kids. I hope enjoy that as well. I discover some extremely large surprise eggs, which I'm able to open. Inside there's a wonderful toy. I usually jump in, drive off, fly away until I find the next egg. So hopefully there's something for the very small kids. You can review toys and the vocab within that. And for the older kids, there's a poem.
Amazing.
It's got a little bit more in there. So there is that. And I must tell you, I hope you've seen, and perhaps on our live stream, if we can get the live stream up, see if we've got any answers to our questions. What books do you use in your English classroom? I wanted to essentially say that we've been uploading some worksheets. Also, we've been putting them on Facebook, we've put them on Instagram, and I think we occasionally even tweet them. We're trying to get as many different ways as we can to get this information out. Have we got anything up on our live stream yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yet. Maybe we'll get it later a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm sure they'll be coming through in a second. So we'll have to see comments as they come up. Maybe our guy in the corner who's monitoring as well might be able to tell us if we're getting a few comments. So give us a thumbs up if you're watching right now. Right now. Right now. Or now?
No, we have one hello here.
Excellent, we have a hello! And hello, who are we saying hello to?
Edita, we are...
That's you!
Edita, it's not me. I'm spelled with I in the middle.
Oh, right, excellent. That's E-D-Y-T-A. We're having a spelling test here, I think. How many different ways can you spell it? Back on topic. We are posting up some extra worksheets which you can use in your classroom. You can use with the children at home. They're very often just a simple colouring or a connection, or I think there's a very simple, perhaps, join the dots, dot to dot, some things like this. If you like some of those worksheets, please give us a thumbs up and share them. The reason we put them up there is to share, so we can get to as many people as we possibly can. Right, I do think we need to dive in then. We need to sort of get going.
Tell me what's new. What are you working at now?
Well, there's a lot going on at the moment.
All
As always, running around. Oh, there's a big thing I wanted to say.
Tell me.
You look very spring and summery. Okay, looking sort of like Easterish on the Easter theme. This topic we're talking about native English-speaking teachers and non-native English-speaking teachers. I myself, I'm English, so I'm a native English speaker, but you're from the Czech Republic. I know in your home country, around about Easter time, one of these comes out.
Yeah,
okay,
but
and it's called what's it called?
I think it's Pomlaska, isn't it?
Pomlaska, okay. And I was told, and I'm not sure, tell me if this is true, you then go around whipping young ladies.
Yeah, but it's on Easter Monday, Stephen. It's not Easter Monday yet, so
right.
put it
So
away
put that away. Okay,
Thank
but
you.
there we go. You are looking. I'm not so summary at the moment. So just 1 second. I told you I'm going to run away, and I am. So just look after yourselves for 1 second. Okay, just talk amongst yourself, and I'll get something a little bit more summary, and it's also something that's going on in ours. There we go. Okay, I'm back, and. Take a look at this. This is something new.
Wow, what a nice t-shirt you have.
That's kind of you to say so. Yes, this is Maggie Magpie is on a t-shirt. There are t-shirts with myself as well. Though it would be a little strange if I wore a t-shirt with my own face on it, I think.
A little bit.
But there we go.
This is your favorite pet, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's normal to put your pet on.
Yes, so, I've got my pet here, Pet Maggie. We're really blessed that with Wow English TV we have a lot of fans, and it is absolutely wonderful, and the fans that are joining us on this live stream, it's absolutely wonderful. Every time we get a comment, every time we get a share, every time we just get a thumbs up or a like or a heart, okay, it means that we are reaching out to people, and what we're doing is worthwhile and is helping a lot of people around the world. And of course, the feedback was, they say, yeah, great, we would love maybe to have a Maggie t-shirt or something. So we got busy, we got very busy,
Okay.
and you can have a pillow.
Wow.
There you go. So you can sort
you
of
can sleep on Steve.
put down. There we go.
Wow.
Okay. Well, you can take that, and you can use that.
Of course, it's great.
There's a bag here. We've got bags. Okay. And I've got my Maggie mug. So
For your morning coffee,
a special
right?
Maggie mug, yes. If the coffee doesn't wake you up, then Maggie screaming in your ear saying, "Wake up! Wake up!" That will definitely get you started.
Good alarm clock then.
There we go, there we go. And yeah, little Maggie puppets. Yay! Here she is, little Maggie puppet. Hello! All of this, I mean, it would be wonderful if you could just check out, after the live stream, we'll put a little link somewhere in the comment section, or Martin's nodding his head 3 times. 3 times that is going to happen. Martin's nodding his head. So we will put a link there where you can see, where you can get
That's
it. And
great.
you can take a little look at some of these things. But there we go. So that's one of the things that is new.
That's amazing.
Exciting.
That's great.
Yeah, so we got the t-shirts. I'm continuing to work on Instagram.
All right.
I'm posting up a sort of a little journal type blog, and if you're interested, it's not so teacher related. It's just some of the things that are happening either in the studio with myself and Maggie and our new character, Bob the Blob, who's a little alien that comes to meet his favourite stars, Steve and Maggie, and he's so excited that he's part of the Steve and Maggie world that he often makes mistakes, causes problems and trouble, and we try to sort them out.
All right. That's
So
amazing.
that's on Instagram, and hello to all my Instagram followers. Wow, it's wonderful that you do enjoy some of the random strange things that I say. I try to tell a couple of jokes, nothing, jokes for kids. I try to maybe say hello to a couple of people and give the idea of what's happening in my life. We put that on Facebook Messenger as well. Facebook has started to do the same type of one-day messages. I post it and then it's deleted a little later on. That's new. New books. Big one. New books. I was talking about Bob the Blob. This is a page, it's a sample page at the moment on some of the materials we're working on for slightly older children.
Maybe we can show a little bit closer.
If you guys can see that there, we've got Bob the Blob in the middle, and with his tentacles, he's holding them up, and he's telling me that it's his book. With the group of blobs here, it's telling it it's their book. He's holding it for everybody. It's our book. And of course down there it's my book, it's her book, and it's your book. So a little bit of extra grammar in there, and Bob is causing all sorts of trouble.
When the new book is going to be out?
This is a very good question. We will have the next book out in September, and then there's a plan for another 2 in that series, and they will be the following years. But for samples, please do get in touch with us. You can send us an email. You can check out our website. We'll put all of these links at the end of the live stream. So that's a biggie. Songs. I've been writing songs for the new book.
All right.
Yeah, some of the songs, don't worry, I'm not going to go on top of the pops and sing a love song or anything like that. It's, no, there's a new boy band. No, that's not the case. It's with Bob. We've got one I've just finished, and my Instagram people will know this. I tried very badly to sing it to them about being on the farm. What does the farmer do? That you're going to ask me to sing, aren't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, thought you would. Okay, it goes, I try to remember, it's, so what goes on the farm? What does the farmer do? He grows fruit and vegetables and raises animals too.
Wow,
He does this for me and you. That's what goes on the farm. So of course there we're teaching children what goes on the farm. There's of course, what do you get from cows? We get milk and beef. What do you get from chickens? We get eggs and chicken. So yeah, it's they're more complicated songs than some of the other songs we've done for the WOW series of books. For the WOW Yellow, which is for the very small children, maybe a nice yellow t-shirt to go with that. The blue books and the red books, all of these details available on the website again. So yes, these songs are a bit more complicated. They have more grammar in them, and hopefully there's a little bit more of a moral, but all of them are educational
Great.
songs. So there we go. Okay, I think we're getting some reactions to my
Yeah,
singing.
yeah. Well, not to singing. I don't really.
Are there
think
any?
so.
Are there any likes or hearts? No, there are no likes or
There are a
hearts
lot
for
of
my
likes.
singing.
There are a lot of likes. No hearts. I'm sorry.
fairly sure
You're
they're not
good
for the
boy
singing,
band.
though, are they? But
However, they are asking here you if you are active kindergarten teacher or nurseries teacher.
I'm as active. I'm as active as I can be. I had to stop giving regular lessons
All
to
right.
small children. The reason for this is because I kept on having to cancel.
Oh.
And if there's one thing the children obviously need is they need a reliable, dependable teacher that can take them from the beginning of the course, the start of the year, all the way through. So I had to stop actually giving regular lessons. It wasn't fair for the children. But I do drop in to as many classes as I possibly can.
All right.
I have a nasty habit of going into the classroom, creating a big stir, getting the children really hyperactive, and then leave.
Well, it's really nice of you.
Yes, and that's often what it's on topic, because this
It is actually.
this is what can happen with native English speakers, of course, is that we are very good at many things, and one thing we are really good at is motivating the students. It can be physically motivating the students to get them started and to have that person that they connect to. But also it can just be in the way that, they say, hello, my name is, and when the native English speaker understands the question and replies, that's real motivation to keep on learning as well. So no, I'm not an active kindergarten teacher in that I don't have regular lessons, but I'm very, very often in the kindergarten, popping in, just trying a few new games, a few activities. Sometimes we have our regular teachers play a couple of new clips.
Yeah.
And I just like sneak in at the back and watch to see what reaction we're getting, to try to think of some hints and tips that we post up on
Amazing.
that. So
Amazing. And actually it brings us to our topic.
it really does.
Right?
Yes. So let's jump into that.
All right.
I'm almost there.
Okay.
I'm almost there. Almost there. I just want to say before I forget that response for our live discussions has been really positive. So we do want to get into a regular routine, and we're going to try to do these live streams on the first Thursday of every month, so that we can timetable that. It can be predictable for you guys watching. And of course, it's predictable for us. We'll try on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, everywhere.
Everywhere we can be.
We're trying to put everywhere what the topic is going to be for the next week. Our topic for next week, I've picked...
for the next month.
Yeah, next month.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next month, thank you. Is raising bilingual children.
All right.
Okay. We're looking a little bit more about native English speaking teachers and non-native English speaking teachers in this one. So we're talking about teaching. Next month, I want to have a little more of a detailed discussion about raising bilingual children. My wife is not a native English speaker. My children do speak English and another language. So I want to just pick out a couple of things there. So if you have questions, comments or queries about raising bilingual children, post them up and we can make a list. So now I am ready to dive into it.
Great.
I am ready to go into it. So our native teachers, native English speaking teachers, non-native English speaking teachers. For you guys, another question for you. We'll go back and we'll see what they're using. I have a question for you here. This one is: how long have you been teaching English? So how long have you been teaching English? Okay, let's see if we get a few comments up
voice
here.
in here. Amazing voice, they say.
Amazing voice?
Yeah, for your singing, I guess. Like comment, but they are praising your voice. But nothing with length of the teaching.
I'm sure it'll come through in a second.
Yeah,
But, it's quite funny with my voice. I'm certainly not a singer. But
you're doing fine.
I'm maybe getting better. But certainly at the beginning, I played the drums. I love music, but when I was younger, I couldn't really sing. So I was just hiding behind the drums. I enjoyed music. When we started this job, I was pushed into the classroom, and they said, "You are the kids' teacher. Here's the CD. Sing these songs. You got no choice." And I think you just have to go for it. Even if the song is slightly out of your range, You just go for it, and you might be out of tune. You might not, you might not be the best singer, but the fact that you're going for it means that the children will. I've had a couple of teachers where they said, I can't use songs because the children are a bit shy or a bit reserved. And I think the only reason that's happened is because the teacher hasn't gone in and say, okay, blah, blah, blah. Look, I'm not the best singer, but hey, we're all going to get it. We're going to go. And I think that's a really important lesson to teach the kids. Have a go. Yeah. The first time, my voice was terrible. Got a little bit better in time, and now our guy that works with the songs, he's very good at auto tuning. But yes, he has a lot of work to do in a few of those things. So anyway, there we go. So how long have you been a teacher?
Well, we have one answer from Rosemary Dizon, 1 year.
Hello, Rosemary. Okay, 1 year. Wow. Yes, within the first year, keep all of your notes in the first year, because the second year, you've got all your notes.
Of course.
So in the second year, it definitely gets a lot easier. I remember my first year, always a lot of work. Lesson planning all the time. Keep all of these lesson plans, keep all of these notes, use them again in the next year. And don't forget to read the teacher's book. When I was putting together the WOW courses, I spent so long planning every lesson, every detail. It's all there. So, make sure you do use the information that these publishing houses, and in our case, what I put together with our team, have made. If you follow that, more experienced teachers can start to play with the format a bit and say, okay, well, I think my children would enjoy more of this or less of that. That's fine. But in your first year, follow the teacher's notes. It's all there. And then when you're more confident, to bring in things that you really like and enjoy, put those in.
We even have experienced teachers like Yamela.
Excellent.
I hope I read it well. 6 years.
6 years? Yep, good.
And Rita for 3 years, so...
It's around about the sort of the 6 or 7 year. You have the we call it the 7-year itch. It's to do with being married. I don't know if you know the idiom, the 7-year itch. After 7 years of being married, there's that little itch, sort of, so they say. Around about with teaching as well. I think sort of like 6, 7 years, you've got enough experience that you know exactly what you're doing, and perhaps just looking for a couple of new ideas, a couple of things that, can lift it again and give you that sort of momentum and that drive to find new stuff, bring it in and to use it. Yeah. So check out our Facebook page. That's where we're putting a lot of material for the worksheets, and check out our YouTube channel, Wow English TV, for some of the interactive content. Yeah. Sure. So there's some more content for you there. So hello to you. Hi, how you doing? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
yes.
If we have a look back at our topic, you're next.
This is why this is why you're here. Put me on topic. Put me back on topic. Right. Yes. Let's take a little look at what is the difference between a native English speaking teacher and a non-native English speaking teacher. My answer to that is there's no difference. There's no difference in terms of the quality of education you can give to the children. There is no difference. There's a different, perhaps approach to teaching. There's perhaps a different sort of, a different thing that the children are exposed to. But certainly in terms of taking the class through a course, the principal thing that matters is that you are a good teacher. And the fact that you're watching this means you are a good teacher. Because if you care enough to be on the internet, looking for different ideas, looking at these discussion forums, then of course, you are the type of teacher that wants to deliver a good lesson. And the children know that if you're there and you don't really want to give a good lesson, you just want to survive through the lesson, of course, we all have days like that. That's
everybody does, of course.
But what I would sort of like say is that the children do pick up on this. And in terms of the quality of the education that you're delivering, if you're following the teacher's book, if you're covering the target language, if you're covering the target vocabulary, if you're giving good practice to all of the students, including the shy ones sitting at the back, which was me when I was young.
You are shy.
I'm still shy.
Nobody believes you. I'm sorry.
There are two types of being shy, and I conquered my shyness by going out there
Alright.
rather than going sort of like in. But inside, when we turn the lights off, then the studio lights, then they'll be shy again. But there we go. Yes, so I think there's no particular big difference in terms of what you can teach and how you teach it. It really isn't. My experience of teaching, teacher training, I've done quite a lot of teacher training over the years of native English-speaking teachers and non-native English-speaking teachers. Let's just start off with the native English-speaking teachers. And have we got many native English-speaking teachers in our chat room here? Yeah, we'll find out in a bit, and we'll have a little look. Yeah, good. Okay, in my experience, we have a lot of younger university graduates, and of course not necessarily university graduates, that want to travel, and they want to go and visit many different countries. And there are many schools that say, fantastic, you're a native speaker, come and teach in our classroom, come and talk to the children. And that can cause a big problem, because if they're not particularly trained teachers, they don't really know how to work with the class. And that can become quite a significant difference between a native speaker and a non-native English speaker, because the native English speaking teacher can't always pick up on what the children are saying in their mother tongue. So there could be an issue that's bubbling away that the native English speaker can't respond to, and because they're then not able to quickly give an instruction to say, hey, stop it, don't do that, or I know it's not your pen, it's his pen, he can have it back, don't do that. You can quickly come in and stop that. But as a native English speaker, you have to work very hard to try to understand what is happening. And very often, you either don't know or you get it wrong. And when there is a little bit of injustice in the classroom, when the children work out that, that maybe, okay, Steve doesn't know what's happening and we can trick him, we can tell him sort of like, this is the way, this is what happened or that's what happened, you can have quite significant management issues in there. Now, with a lot of, that's with new native English-speaking teachers that just, they want to travel, and many schools say, fantastic, you're a native speaker, come to our classroom. But if they don't know how to work with children in a classroom environment, you're going to have problems. The flip side of that is very experienced teachers. I'm counting myself in this. Very experienced teachers in terms of they've worked with children for a long time, and children who don't speak English as the mother tongue make very basic mistakes in their English. I have to watch and control my English very often. And sometimes, if I'm teaching, sometimes I would just place a little tape recorder in the classroom and just record my lesson and just check that I am actually using my mother tongue correctly. And you'd think, okay, well, what are you going to do that's going to be wrong? I've been observing teachers, and I've seen it in myself. One example was I was watching a teacher who was playing Stations. Stations is the game where you say, okay, please touch the window. Children go to touch the window, touch the door, you go to touch the door. And the native English speaker, I think she was from Ireland, said, okay, everybody stand up, please touch window. Please touch window. There's a missing article there. One of the big things that many people have problems with in English is articles a and the. And she dropped it. And when I said, well, why did you drop that? She said, oh, either like forgot or just copying the mistakes of the children. The children say, okay, wear pen. And then the teacher said, okay, everybody, wear pen. And you're
missing your verb.
Yeah, you have to, even on very basic English, which many non-native English-speaking teachers think that that's no problem for a native speaker, they actually are. So that was one problem that I had. And my advice there, I said, okay, well, why don't you use the article as thinking time? The reason the pause was there, because she was thinking what to say next. Touch, door. So I said, put the article in, touch the window. So you can have the article there as your thinking time, as you're thinking what to say next. Another example of very basic English that experienced native English speakers can get wrong. There was a guy who was teaching, and there's two things here.
All right.
Two things. The first, they were teaching from a book that had a animal as the main character. Had an animal. There you go. You see?
See?
I've got to, we all have to check ourselves. So there was an animal as the main character. I have a little bit of a problem with this. And it's part of the reason that when we were writing the materials, the WOW materials, is that we said, let's have a person. And let's have a real person. And of course that real person became me. Because I
asked for that.
Well, I guess so. I have a silly face that children point and laugh at. So that's probably why. But I said, let's have a real person because look, these are my fingers. And this teacher was using a book where the main character was an animal. And they're teaching fingers. It was a cat. So look at the cat's fingers. But cats don't have fingers. They have claws and paws. They don't have hands. They have paws. They don't have hair. They have fur. It's not a big thing, I know. But of course, what we're taking away is that that's not quite right. You know. And if the children are interested in a character like with Maggie, you know, she hasn't got arms. She's got wings. And she's got claws and not feet. So if we can give this language in context, and that's a lot of the things that I was trying to do when we created all of these WOW books. So the teacher said, again, he was saying, okay, hey, look. It's it's the character's fingers. It's their fingers. And he said something like, it's, but not they are the fingers. He said, it's fingers. And they are fingers. So here, of course, again, you're thinking about a lot. Even as a native English speaker, you don't have the extra worry of the language, but you're still thinking, what am I doing next? And you can make mistakes. So a native English speaking teacher doesn't necessarily mean that the language will be perfect. And of course, language is evolving and changing. In England, you can hear many people using the third person to talk about themselves. You'll hear this in a lot of TV, perhaps, that you see. You say, you know, I is happy. For me, as an English teacher, I want to correct that. I said, no! Stop, I've got some flashcards. I have some teaching materials. I need to show you this. Sometimes it's my family. So I'm sort of like, you know, I'm talking to some of my family. So yeah, I is all right. You know, yesterday I goes to the pub. I goes to the pub. You would fail the very basic, you know, elementary English exam for this. So being a native speaker is no guarantee of perfect language. And of course, there are these issues that we have with management and these kind of issues. So I want just to just jump forward a little bit, perhaps. And if I just dig down here, I have just some notes that we've talked about some of those negative things. And you had a question, didn't you, from somebody that was asking about mixing?
Yeah, mixing the native and non-native speakers in one lesson. Yeah, there was such a request from one of our licensed schools. They have a problem combining native and non-native speakers together, teachers in one lesson.
I'm just going to jump in. That's a good point, that we haven't necessarily told everybody that we do have licensed schools in various places. No, it's me. I talk too much. I'm a motor mouth. Sometimes you have to just, you know, just dive in and stop me. Yeah, we have some licensed schools that are licensed to use the teaching materials that we've got. How are we doing with that?
We are quite good. We are spreading through, not only through Europe, but we are spreading around the world.
Excellent.
And we have some partners in Hong Kong, for example.
Brilliant.
I think we've greeted them already.
If you're watching, okay, that's great. Good.
We have partners in Poland, we have partners in Spain, France, also the countries, Iraq, Iran, and so on.
So you're talking to a lot of people as well, you see. So I'm talking to a lot of people, you're talking to a lot of people.
I'm in the back office.
But it's on the email. If you're interested in the teaching materials, and if you're interested in being a, we call it partner school? No, sorry.
Partner license school.
License school, then do email editor at Wattsenglish.com.
Yeah,
Marvelous.
thank you.
Your question?
Yeah, that was the combination of native and non-native English teachers in one lesson. And there is also one question regarding this topic, but if you can answer this one first.
Yeah, with that one, as we're, like I say, I want to go into the native and non-native English-speaking teachers in this one. We have a series called T for Teachers, teachers on Facebook, where I try to answer your questions quickly. Not quickly, but I want to answer just that one question and we move on to the next one. Here I want to go into more detail, really get into the topic. It's very common, especially in Asian countries, that you have the main teacher in the classroom, and you also have the language assistant.
All right.
Very often called the language assistant, and that can be very common. Indeed, also in Europe as well, of course. Now, in these situations, it's very often that the main teacher is leading the lesson, and we'll call on the language assistant to perhaps to give help with pronouncing something, or maybe to go into different little groups and to work with those groups, or indeed just to read something out or to get some text. And my sort of big thing here is that how to do that. I think you need to be always clear about who is leading the lesson. And I think that very often when you have the class teacher in the room, the children instantly go to their main teacher, and they're constantly looking for reassurance and sometimes the translation from their main teacher. So if you're a language assistant and you find it difficult to get the children to really follow you and to reply to you in English, then I think what you need to do is sit down with your with the class teacher and sort of say, okay, I would like to lead the lesson, and when I'm leading the lesson, it's great to have you there in case there are any problems and you can quickly sort of stop, but do not translate for me. Because of course what we're going to teach the children is that if they don't understand, they just wait for their teacher to translate. So they're going to get a little lazy with that. So if you say you are the main teacher, if they don't understand the instruction, you have to give the instruction again. If they don't know what to do, you have to show them what to do, not wait for the translation. So I think how to work with a native speaker and a non-native English speaker in the same classroom is to very much say, I am leading the class, you are leading the class. I am leading the class, you are leading the class. And get the children very much in that way that they see the native English speaker as the main teacher in the lesson. You are the non-native and English speaker is there to lead things, and vice versa. And of course, I think when the main class teacher is teaching, the language assistant gets involved but doesn't take over the lesson. So I think it's very key to have these roles there. So that's kind of like on a bit of a mix of the two. Yeah.
Great.
Good.
Thank you for that.
All right. How are we doing with our chats? Oh, Mike's online. Hello, Mike in China. How are you doing? Thank you so much for sending some of your videos with all of the kids. You teach really big classes, especially compared to some of the classes that we have here. So good luck with that. I hope the kids are enjoying it. Who else have we got online?
We have here Georgina Rosie, who is very grateful for your job. And,
thank you.
She's teaching her daughter herself, so she's
Excellent.
a parent. Maybe she can use our online application, which we are going to
Absolutely.
develop soon.
Yes, that's our top secret project. I'm working on an app. That's
it's top secret, sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's it's just between us, and
right,
so only tell a couple of thousand people. It's that kind of top secret.
Okay.
I'll show you if I've got time. If you follow me on Instagram, I've posted a few things on Instagram where you can see me maybe just going with one of the demo apps. It's getting close, but it's like any project. You go through and you get close to the end, and you never seem to quite get there. So we are getting there soon-ish, I think. But there we go. Okay, who else we got?
Yeah, they are
trickling in.
posting. Yeah, they are posting. They are making likes and hearts and everything.
Excellent.
However,
That's
they
always
are
good.
not commenting.
That's always
so,
good. Okay, so native English speakers. That's some of the problems we have. What are we very good at? We're very good at motivating and creating interest, building confidence. It's a lot of the reason that schools ask native English speakers. They're constantly recruiting native English speakers. And exposure to a native English speaker is extremely valuable. We try to give exposure to a native English speaker, me, through some of the videos. So we've got there. We're very good at contextualizing the language, putting the language into context. And we can give a great sense of achievement and satisfaction.
Well, yeah, it's true. And you mentioned that when you come to a kindergarten class that you really enjoy making some fun there with children, making them a little bit, playful and so on. And one woman is asking, or one teacher is asking, what are your tips to calm the children down so you can work again?
Yeah, I think this is one of the key. Perhaps we'll have another live stream on a typical lesson, the sort of flow of a lesson. As a regular teacher, and this is, again, it's a problem that I have specifically, is that a lot of the children now, they do not see me as the teacher. They see me as, Steve, jazz hands, Steve and Maggie. So as a teacher, you do need to keep control of this. The energy, if you have a high energy, high impact activity, the next one needs to be quite low. If you are too long at high energy, everybody knows what's going to happen. The kids are going to get hyperactive, and they're going to get so hyper that you have no chance to calm them down. And you have to make sure that you don't get to that tipping point. The opposite is true. If you have a low energy level activity, if you do that for too long, the kids are going to have ants in their pants, as my grandma always say. You've got ants in your pants. They're fidgety. They start sort of maybe tugging or playing with each other, or losing focus, losing control, and you can't do anything with them then. So your lesson needs to be sort of high energy, low energy. As the children get older, you start to smooth that out a little bit, because you need to sit and concentrate for longer, but punctuated with these high energy things. My big tip, just quickly on that, is routine. How can you get the children to calm down? Some song, some management song on our YouTube channel, Wattsenglish. It's not on Wow English TV, it's Wattsenglish, the YouTube channel. We have some of the management songs from the books. And when the children hear these management songs, they know the activity is changing, and they know, because they've had a high energy activity, they know that the next one is going to be low level. So they're expecting it. They're not sort of you're not working hard to try to settle them. They all know after a high energy activity, there's going to be the song, and they're expected to sit down. And you find then that routine means that you're not fighting with the class to sort of say, okay, sit down, but over here they're not, so you can move on in that way. But maybe we'll have a more detailed look at that later. Thank you for that question, though. That's wonderful. It's great that you are commenting. So I can hold up this one. I just want one more question for you here. This one here. Because we're going to take a look at non-native English-speaking teachers just for the last sort of 5-10 minutes. Here, it's what are you most worried about when teaching English? So what are you most worried about when teaching English? Can you see that? Yeah, okay.
You can see that, I think.
I would imagine, editor, you as a non-native English-speaking teacher, as a nest, what do you worry about the most when you're teaching?
Well, the biggest problem for me at the very beginning of my teaching was the pronunciation. I was very much afraid if my pronunciation, my accent was correct, or the professional one, and so on. It's the biggest problem.
It is a big one. One of the big things that non-native English-speaking teachers are most worried about is their pronunciation. Does anybody share editor's worry there? Let's see. Are you particularly worried about your pronunciation as a non-native English-speaking teacher? There's one or two kind of trickling in. Yeah, okay.
There are some,
I would say my advice about this is that for me, I was born in a small town in the middle of England, and there are two dominant accents in the UK. There's the Northern English and there's the Southern English. I'm from that middle bit, from that strange land called the Midlands, sort of close to Birmingham but not in Birmingham. And I have quite my accent is that I have these short northern vowels. So I say laugh, bath, path, grass. This is how I have the shorter vowels. In Southern English, they have the longer vowels, the laugh, bath, path, and grass. And the way that I speak comes from this particular region. And I am a native English speaker. I think my accent is just as valid as, say, a Southern English. From my bedroom window when I was a little boy, I could look out the bedroom window and there was a hill. And on the other side of the hill, they said laugh, bath, path and grass. On my side of the hill, it was laugh, bath, path and grass. Within such a small area, there's already a different accent. There's a different way of pronouncing the words. London speaks with its London accent, Glasgow. Now let's blow that globally, just with inside what a native English speaker's accent is. American English. There are many different ways of speaking American English, Australian English, Indian subcontinent English, New Zealand, Australian English. There's so many different ways. So almost what is correct English pronunciation? It doesn't exist. There are many. One of the reasons I think that English has become an international communication tool is the fact that it has spread globally. And that's great for me. For non-native English speakers, it means that probably most of you will be learning English. You're from the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
That's your homeland. You have a Czech accent.
Of course I do.
But we're having a conversation. I understand you. And you are using the language in how you need to use it. And with the children, if you are teaching Chinese children in China, they will speak with a Chinese accent.
Of course.
That's fine, because they need to speak and to communicate. And that's what we're going for. I think we've got a couple of
yeah, there is
posts
somebody
coming up.
asking that it's, or saying that it's
Yes.
hard for her not to use her native language, even
Yes.
Polish, Czech, whatever
Mhm.
is it. How to not use.
Yeah, you have to be quite tough with yourself there. And I would say that I give lessons in Japanese. Maybe if you remember from last time, I told you that I lived in Japan for around about 3 years. I learnt a little bit of Japanese, not great. And here I do a 45-minute workshop only in Japanese. And it's, of course, not my mother tongue, and everybody knows that. But I do it only in Japanese. The first time I did it, it was very difficult for me not to just quickly put in an explanation in English that I knew would work. And that's the problem. You know that your mother tongue will instantly work quickly and easily, but you're not going to get the results that you want because you want to try to conduct the whole lesson in English. You perhaps find it difficult to not use your mother tongue because you're concentrating too much on what you don't know. And when I started to teach this Japanese workshop, I concentrated on what I didn't know. And I don't know how to say, please turn over a card. I don't know how to say that. And I was worried before that activity. Said, I can't do that activity because I don't know how to do it. Of course, in the classroom, I just said, please, please, please. And they got it. And I just said one word, please. So as my Japanese improves, it's not at the moment, so maybe I study, but as my Japanese improves, I can then start to say, please turn over the card and give them the language of the instruction there. But if you concentrate too much on what you don't know, then you won't start. And if you're not, if you don't do it and go for it, then it will always remain quite difficult. Perhaps you might need once or twice for management issues to change the language.
Yeah, that's what it's mentioning here by Estella. She's mentioning it, that sometimes you need to use your native English.
Yes. So, Maggie, using puppets is a big topic. Again, it's going to give another reason for us to come back to get together again and talk about using puppets. Maggie sits up high in my lesson. And if the children start to use their mother tongue or start to use something that's not English, Maggie gets a bit sad and she flies away. She flies away and she hides because she doesn't understand what's going on. And perhaps, here you say, okay, Maggie, just, we'll see you in a minute. Maggie, just fly away. Okay, now Maggie's gone. Let's just quickly, say, okay, you need the toilet. You need to tell me something. Okay, deal with that situation and say, okay. And now, Maggie's back, so hello again, everybody. And you can switch between the two languages. So we talked a little last time, did we not, about hooks for the language. Setting up these hooks for the language so the children know that you are in English. One of the big things can be Maggie there, and when Maggie is around, you're only speaking English. And if perhaps from time to time, or if you feel that you just can't keep going. Maybe Maggie can fly away for a little bit, you can do what you need to do, and then Maggie can come back. So I hope that perhaps helps on
yeah, for sure, very well with the beginners.
Yeah, and so just on two things then. We were talking about pronunciation,
yeah.
and confidence. I think those are the two big things for non-native English-speaking teachers, is pronunciation and confidence. My confidence when I first did my Japanese workshop, I focused on what I didn't know. I was worried, I was nervous, and my confidence was really low. But now, I've done the workshop many times, I've gone through the lesson, I know it, and I know what works. I know that it does work. If you just say, hello, touch, or you just say, where's the chair? You don't need an awful lot of language, but you need the target language. That's what we want to practice. So my confidence now in doing this workshop is really high. And many people think I can speak fluent Japanese. I can prove to you at any time you like that I'm really not a fluent Japanese speaker. So you can often fool them. But my confidence, if a Japanese person walked into my Japanese workshop, my confidence would nosedive. Of course it would. And often I think that's maybe what non-native English-speaking teachers are a bit worried about, that many of the mums and dads, they do speak English, and perhaps they speak English better than the teacher. I think what we need to say here is that making a start with teaching English is more important. If you don't make a start, if you don't do it, you will never improve. Your confidence will never get better. Your language ability won't ever get better if you don't actually start doing it. But I would say be open and honest with the children. Perhaps you can say, well, if the parents are saying, well, your English is not good enough to be teaching my child, you can say, well, yes, I know, but I'm showing the children that I'm still learning. That's a really valuable life lesson. That the children know that you don't just learn when you're at school and then that's it, it's totally finished. It's a lifelong process, lifelong learning. So that's a really valuable lesson. And what you can say to the parents is say, well, we are introducing and practicing the language with Steve and Maggie by watching Wow English TV.
Sure.
They're listening to a native English speaker. They're exposed to all of this language. And I'm playing games and activities and doing worksheets that focus on the target language. We spoke again a little bit last time about the fact that the language in the DVDs is quite complicated. We use language that we need to use. So I'm using the present continuous tense, or I'm using a conditional and say, Maggie, if you do that, then this will happen. Or, so these are complicated structures, but we're focusing the children on these easy target language. Maybe it's perhaps like 4, 5, or 6 words. And that's what you could be practicing with the children. So that's one way. And of course, in time, as your confidence increases, as you're more comfortable with your pronunciation, the children will never speak like a native English speaker unless they go and live in the UK, or they have an English parent at home, or somebody that is constantly talking to them. But that is not the goal.
And it's not necessary.
Yeah. We're not, when we teach English as a second, as a foreign language, as a second language it's a little different, of course, but when we're teaching English as a foreign language, it's not to produce an army of native English speakers. We want these children to be comfortable and confident in using what has become an international communication tool. So don't focus on I will never be able to speak English like Steve.
Yeah.
You can if you devote a couple of years of your life, move to England, work, eat, breathe English all the time. Yes, you can, but of course in 99% of the situations it's not possible and it's not necessary. So those are my sort of 2 big things on pronunciation and confidence. My last big thing is this, that linguistic inadequacies are tolerated less from non-native English-speaking teachers. It's easy for me to say, isn't it?
Well, I I don't think so. I've been training it.
What do I mean by that? Very often, we forget words. Everybody does. In your mother tongue, sometimes you just forget what that word is, and you can't think. If in a class that I'm teaching, I forget a word, the parents, the head teachers, the whole English department, just forgot the word. If a non-native English-speaking teacher forgets a word, oh, they don't know that word. Oh, that's very basic, you know. And there was a teacher who was doing. It's a wonderful method. Everybody does it from time to time. You forget. You pretend to forget some words so that you can elicit these words from the children. You say, "Oh, yesterday I saw on the road. Oh, what is it? It's got 4 legs. It says meow. Oh, what is it? It's Type, yeah, quickly.
Yeah, we have a cat in
cat!
here.
Yeah! Super. Okay, so it's a cat. So you pretend to forget these words.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happened with this teacher, unfortunately, is that the students went home and said, my English teacher, she doesn't know the word cat. I had to tell her, what a cat was. And, of course, the parent went to the headmaster of the school and says, why can't your teacher speak English? And she had to go to the headmaster and explain what had happened. And she said, I haven't forgotten all of my English in the summer holidays. I was testing the children. So this is an issue that, of course, comes up, and it does mean that, yes, it is harder for non-native English-speaking teachers. It's one of the reasons that we try to produce materials to help. I think there are definite great ways of integrating a native English-speaking teacher. We've talked about a little bit of those things. And, the last one was cultural knowledge and niceties can be. I think that's something that non-native English-speaking teachers get worried about, that perhaps like an idiom that they don't know. I did that on my Instagram. It's
right.
raining cats and dogs.
Okay.
Do you know where that came from?
Well, no.
No, it's in the days of thatched roofs with straw. When it was cold and wet, cats and dogs would go up into the straw and hide in the roof where it's nice and warm.
Okay.
Of course, if it was raining a lot, then it would get very wet, very slippery, and the cats and dogs would fall out the roof.
Really?
So from the window, you would see that it is literally raining cats and dogs. So there we go. A lot of these things, all of this collocations and idioms and things, they're lovely, they're nice. The kids quite like to know one or two of them. But that level of language is not necessary for 99% of the population. 99% of, yeah. So what I would sort of like say here is that for non-nests, don't focus too much on the real linguistic side, and perhaps sometimes non-native English-speaking teachers feel more confident about teaching grammar and the rest of it, and tend to focus a little too much on that. We need a balance, and you need to be thinking of the whole class that you're teaching. So we can wrap up pretty much what we have here. We tried to take one or two questions that we've got. Let's see if there's anything that you can
Mike is
particularly
asking
pick up
if
on.
we use warm-ups to start our class. Do we?
Yes, always. I always start with I always tell every teacher to start with either in the door routine. And very often the teachers say, but the children are already in the room. You say, line them up back by the door, and we're starting English again. So I get them to, if you can't go out in the corridor, I still line them up. And something physical to start off with. Perhaps it's a song to run and jump and hop and skip, or something. It could just be anything sort of physical. Again, healthy body, healthy mind. Just get some of that stress out, some of that, and release and get going with it. Yeah, that's certainly something. Yep.
Great. And there is somebody who wants you to say hello to them, Maram and Allah.
Sorry, who is it?
Maram and Allah.
Hello, Maram and Allah. Hi, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Hello. Maggie's very happy that you've joined us for our live streams. If you would like more live streams, hello from Tokyo. Konnichiwa, genki desu ka? So I know just a little bit.
Anyway, okay.
Hello
is okay.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Right.
If you have enjoyed this live stream and you want more, please share. This live stream will be saved on Instagram. Instagram has started saving. They didn't last time. Last time, when we finished our live stream on Instagram, it's gone.
Was it?
Now it's saved. Instagram has started saving, and YouTube saved that. Share the live stream, share the fact that we were live and that we were discussing a topic in detail. The more people you share with, the more that we see that people are watching, the more hearts we get, the more likes we get, the more it goes up. And of course, that means that we can invest our time and energy into doing some of these. So we've got hello from Turkey.
Brazil,
okay.
From Brazil, I think, as well.
Oh, Brazil, fantastic. Ricardo, hi. It's either very early or very late for you. So either wake up or go to sleep. I'm not sure which one, but I guess
I think
it would be early.
Yeah, it would be morning.
It is early. Okay, my brain does still work. That's good to know. So please, please, please share all of this. The more shares we get, the more likes we get, the more hearts we get. Really, genuinely does help. As he said, our next topic is going to be raising bilingual children. So if you have any questions, comments on raising bilingual children, send them as either direct message on Facebook, and we'll collect those and we'll put them together for next time.
Next time it should be the 4th of May, if I'm not mistaken.
It's
right?
the 4th of May.
Yeah,
okay.
the first Thursday in May.
Star Wars Day.
Yes.
May the 4th be with you. Okay, I think that's probably enough from us. I'm going to go online now and just hopefully type a few highs to all of you. If I didn't have time to say hello to you, thank you again. It's wonderful. So thanks very much from us. Okay, cheerio. See you next time. Bye for now.